Today, we would like to pay tribute and honor to a man who is loved by his family, relatives, friends, and colleagues. To many, he was called Eddie or Tito Ed by his relatives, friends, and colleagues. But for us, his children and his in-laws, we call him Papa, and all of his apos call him Pogi. He would always return a good smile to his apos, maybe because we thought it was the way his apos addressed and saw him Pogi. Well, normally on Sundays, we all visit Papa and Mama at their residence. We all shared wonderful moments and family updates, and that made our family bonding stronger. Having said that, let me now honor my dad on behalf of my brothers and sisters and our respective families. Our lovely memory for fellow doctor, architect, environmental planner, Edilberto F. Florentino, LIKHA, who was born in February 28, 1929 at Vegan, Ilocos Sur. He was the fourth child of Dr. Jose and Salvacion Florentino. He completed his secondary studies with flying honors as valedictorian. He finished his Bachelor of Science in Architecture at the Mapua Institute of Technology, Manila, Philippines. He further took some graduate studies on structures at the University of the Philippines. He was happily married to a beautiful mestiza, Mrs. Milagros Lazaga Cosio Florentino, who was his greatest supporter as well as his greatest critic, as he used to say. They spent 63 beautiful years together, and for us, who personally witnessed their beautiful relationship as a lifetime partners, we would strongly say that they could make a real good model for an ideal husband and wife tandem and as a wonderful example of good parenting. Architect Edilberto F. Florentino always said to his friends, his gems in life are his children, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. But his precious diamond in life is his wife, Mama. He was a very poetic and a romantic person, never missed giving gifts for Mama on every occasion, along with his well-written romantic love letters for her. The reunion was blessed with 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Without bias, all of my brothers and sisters would attest that they brought us up quite well. I and my siblings, Melquiades, Elizabeth, Marlene, Emily, and Mar Joseph, are all happily married and have beautiful families. We would like to attribute this to our parents, Eddie and Mila, who taught us and showed us that God must be at the center of our family, as they did. It was easy for us to understand and adapt it because we witnessed it from them. In the professional side of our father, Edilberto F. Florentino was a licensed and registered architect and a licensed and registered environmental planner. He was also an accredited mediator and an accredited arbitrator. All of these he considered as instruments to exercise the gifts that God gave him. He founded our architectural and engineering office, now called E. Florentino to the Third Power plus Associates. The reason for having the Third Power is that his granddaughter Star and I joined him as principal partners in our office when we became architects. He was proud in saying that it is the only architectural office in the Philippines with 3 generations of family architects working under one architectural and engineering office. Thus, Papa, Star, and I became much closer to each other. And of course, some members of the family became part of the office too. You know, he goes to office every day, from Monday to Friday, from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., doing sketches, conceptualizing, estimates, and project visits. Even at the age of 93, you would not believe this, he managed to climb stairs up to 15 stories high. Of course, with certain floor stops, just to see the developments of our projects. He even managed to climb hills to set up and identify locations of structures for our theme park project. And he was known as the father of tinsel structures in the Philippines. And that is how he was attached and dedicated to his work. As an architect, he designed projects from residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and religious projects, not only in the architectural aspect of the project, but also in the structural conceptualization of the project. Thus, the word and the application of structural conceptualization was introduced and printed in the Republic Act 9266, better known as the Architecture Act of 2004. His creativity brought him to another level, giving him a space as an inventor and as an innovator. He had 12 registered patents and copyrights under his name. He developed a building technology called modular ferroconcrete building system. The said building technology were used and presently being used on our project, and we will continue to use it whenever possible, so that his print shall be marked on all our projects in his honor. His dedication and loyalty to UAP is unquestionable. He was one of those who initiated the talks for the unification of the three professional organizations, namely the League of Philippine Architects, the Architects and Philippine Government Association, and the Philippine Institute of Architects. During those talks, he was the president of the League of Philippine Architects, and he was one of the members of the panel of negotiators, a small, recognized, and official group that made the unification of UAP possible. From the time of the formation of UAP up to his last days of his life, he actively participated in major and minor activities and events of UAP and held various positions, whether in the chapter level or national level. He was a former national officer, chancellor of the College of Fellows, executive director, national committee chairman, or on some occasion, a member of that particular committee, national task force chairman, and on some occasion, a member as well of some task force assignments, chapter president, and other positions, too many to mention. He was also dedicated to the profession, as he was instrumental and one of those who helped draft and worked hard for the making of RA 9266. And of course, certain provisions in the standards of professional practice. And just recently, he helped draft the Architect's Credo. He was bestowed the title LIKHA Gold Medal Award and a recipient of the UAP PIA Gold Medal Award. He was an APEC architect and an ASEAN architect. He was a member of the Board of Architecture, Philippine Regulation Commission. He was bestowed the title Honorary Fellow and Fellow Doctor in Architecture by the Royal Institution, Singapore. On the lighter note, he was a good dancer. He could dance non-stop for hours. In fact, he is known as the John Travolta in many organizations he was in. And allow me to invite you to watch the short dance film clips of Ed Florentino. Yes, we all missed Eddie, Ed, Tito Eddie, or Tito Ed, Pogi, and Papa. He left a legacy to many of us here, the fond memories we had with him. His wisdom he unselfishly shared, the works that he contributed to society, and most especially, the love he shared to us. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, and members of his family, allow me, fellow Dr. Architect Edilberto F. Florentino, LIKHA APEC Architect, ASEAN Architect,